I think when we really quiet our minds, we start to hear our hearts. And they say that the longest distance we'll ever travel is the 18 inches from our head to our heart.
Today we are talking with Dr. Jamie Zimmerman. I am so excited to have her here.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here.
So tell me a little bit about yourself to get started.
Absolutely. So I'm a physician by training, and I actually work as a medical journalist. So I work at ABC News, and I'm not just covering health and wellness, which is my official job title, but I'm also a meditation teacher. And so at work, I'm teaching everyone to meditate. And my background is really in meditation medicine. So I work at the interface of meditation and Western science and neuroscience. I also really am passionate about living with purpose, and so that's something else I teach. I have the privilege of lecturing about living your life's purpose.
Tell me how you even got into this meditation medicine idea in the first place. Where did that come from?
So I actually started meditating when I was 16. It wasn't something I sought out, really. I was working as an actress at that time and was invited to a lecture that Deepak Chopra gave. And I know so many people found meditation through him. And he challenged us to start meditating. And during this 10-minute session, I felt this sense of peace. And I felt a sense of clarity and ease that I hadn't felt for a while. And I was, as a teenager, so there was teen angst, and I was also auditioning a lot, so there was that stress. And I was supporting my family at that time, so I had a side job too. And so to find that level of peace was so amazing to me. And then I thought, well, this is something I need to continue. So I started a daily practice that was so helpful in my life. And then when I got to medical school, I started to think, well, what about my patients? What about the neuroscience behind this? Is there actual evidence that this could be beneficial to more people? And I had the privilege of really studying that and delving into the medicine of meditation.
So what exactly does meditation medicine mean? What does that entail?
Meditation and medicine, or actually if you think about meditation and medication, they sound almost identical, right? You just switch out the C for a T. It's the same word. And they come from the same Latin root, medere, which means to heal, which I thought was really interesting because most of us think of meditation as coming from India, from kind of Eastern traditions. But even in ancient Rome, there was a recognition that meditation had healing qualities. And so what I've done is really looked at, well, what are those healing qualities? And now there's a huge amount of research about what meditation does for the brain. So not only does it change the way our brain works, it actually is almost like going to the gym. You're actually building new connections, and we can see on a brain scan structural changes after just 8 weeks of meditation. And so you see an increase in density in a part of the brain that actually is associated with happiness, that's associated with being able to make better decisions in our lives. So just meditating can actually help grow this part of the brain. The prefrontal cortex, which is right behind our forehead.
Wow.
Yeah. And it also shrinks the part of the brain responsible for the stress response. So we actually see a shrinking of the amygdala in just 8 weeks. And this is associated with people reporting more positive emotions and less stress in their lives.
So what do you need to do to start incorporating more meditation into your life? Do you prescribe it? How does that work?
Yeah, well, I would say the great thing about meditation is you don't need any fancy equipment. You don't need to necessarily travel anywhere, especially now that there are so many amazing resources online. The folks who are watching this now could actually start today or tonight in their living room or in their office. And I know in my own life that 5 minutes a day makes a huge difference. And so I would recommend starting just very small, choosing an amount of time you can do each day, and then seeing how it affects your life. Try it as an experiment.
So for those of us who are health coaches and we're working with clients and they're experiencing a host of issues and we want to be able to support them and we think that meditation might help them, what's the best way for us to introduce the idea to them to help them on their journey?
I think most people have heard of mindfulness, and so you can even start by asking, are you interested in learning more about mindfulness? And mindfulness is one type of meditation. And then you can learn to guide a basic meditation or refer to your clients or your coachees to websites that have all these meditations on them. Another part of getting quiet is that I think when we really quiet our minds, we start to hear our hearts. And they say that the longest distance we'll ever travel is the 18 inches from our head to our heart. And so for many people who try meditation, I think that experience of getting in touch with what their heart is saying often opens doors to understanding what they want to do with their lives, how they want to be in their relationships. And it really, in that sense, is this primary food. It enriches our lives to such an extent.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.